The High Court in Durban will hand down its judgment in the dispute brought by the ANC over the use of the logo by the uMkhonto weSizwe formation.
Yeah, the governing party argued that the trademark over the symbol would cause confusion in the run-up to the elections in May, and the name MK forms part of the heritage of the liberation movement.
Well, Newzroom Afrika's Ziyanda Ngcobo is following up on that story first. We'll be also speaking to Ntando Mnyandu, who's outside court. Ziyanda, let's start off with you. Good morning. Thank you once again for making time for us. Looking at the possible outcomes of this case, and we need to speak about the politics of it, because we are speaking about only 36 days to the 29 May polls.
That's right, Algin, and if this court judgment finds in favor of the MK Party, it would essentially be the third victory that they would have had against the ANC, so to speak. The first, of course, related to the registration of the party, which the ANC lost in the electoral court, but many would say that that was an issue between the IEC and the MK Party, and the IEC seeking clarity over issues regarding the registration of the party, but also the current one that is now going to be appealed in the Constitutional Court related to the former president being able to form part of a parliamentary list. That issue is yet to be heard, and of course this one on the infringements. You'll recall, Elgin, that there were questions around Section 34(1)A of the Trademark Act and whether it applies to political parties, firstly, but secondly, whether or not there would be confusion when looking at the uMkhonto weSizwe logo versus that of the ANC. That was one of the questions I remember vividly the judge asking, because if that is the main argument of the ANC, they also had to prove that there is some kind of similarity between the logos, as well as the issue of urgency. Advocate Dalimpo for saying, well, they've brought this matter on an urgent basis, and yet one, they didn't even bother explaining why it's urgent, but secondly, they had more than one occasion to contest then the issue of the logo and chose not to, and then also the issue of jurisdiction linked to urgency. Instead of going to the electoral court, they've opted to go straight to the motion court, and so there were questions around whether or not this particular court even had jurisdiction to hear the matter. So those issues are what were being considered when we were here on the 27th of March, and certainly, as my colleague Ntando Mnyandu is standing by, there are throngs of MK supporters that are expected to come out, and you speak about the political aspect. Well, these court cases have been used as a platform for the MK Party to campaign ahead of the 29th of May.
Well, a hotly contested election indeed, and that is Ziyanda Ngcobo outside the Durban High Court, where judgment is expected to be handed down today. And of course, this is an important conversation.
Oh yeah, much anticipation for this one. And so not just much anticipation from the country waiting to see how the court rules, but certainly even outside of the court. We've got our reporter Ntando Mnyandu, who will be watching those that come out either in support of the MK Party and the ANC. Ntando, any movement yet outside the court?
Well, my lady, we haven't seen much numbers, in terms of uMkhonto weSizwe supporters coming out, but we have seen the foot soldiers of uMkhonto weSizwe, with the logistics, at its advanced stages. We've seen, the metropolis from eThekwini municipality, setting up crowd barriers. That speaks to the amount and the volumes of people they're expecting to see. We are seeing now on our picture, if my colleague Lungelo Zungu would give you a picture, we are seeing a truck that carries a stage which will be used, which means that in any moment after, court proceedings, we might see high leaders of, uMkhonto weSizwe party addressing supporters. They're expecting a large number of supporters. But let me bring into this conversation Ubabutulane Gamete, who is the convener, provincial convener for uMkhonto weSizwe. Baba, how much crowd are you expecting to see in terms of your supporters ahead of this historic judgment that is expected to be delivered today?
Greetings and greetings to the viewers at home. First of all, let me clarify this. I'm the convener for eThekwini region, not for the province. No, we're expecting a quite number, more than 1,000, more than 2,000. But according to the rules, since we've applied up to 2,000. So that's what we're expecting. And we know uMkhonto weSizwe Party, usually what we normally do, we just tell comrades, our comrades will come here in numbers. We don't even provide transport because we've got no money for transport. But I know they will come here, be rest assured.
But how critical is today's judgment for the party ahead of the elections?
If you have worked the ground, you know the story, you know that what people need. We know what our people need at the moment. We have done our campaign. We are not scared of anything. People who are scared, you will see them trying all sorts of means. They've tried. We went to court with them, complaining. They say about our registration. You saw the judgment. We were successfully. They were unsuccessful actually. And now they are complaining about all sorts of things. Even now you heard that the judges ruled in favor of President Zuma. He is our candidate. But IEC right now is also in court. They've put their own appeal. So right now our lives matters the most. Our people's life matters the most. We cannot be kept in and out of court because of logo. These people are fighting over a logo. You can look at this logo. There's a huge difference between this one and also the one that was used previously. But be certain, we know what our people want. Our people want the MK. Regardless of whether or not we are winning, but we are quite certain that we are going to, the court shall prevail. And we also respect and accept that all the proceeding in court will go well. But at the end of the day, be rest assured, our people will vote for the MK. They've got confidence. What they care the most about MK is what MK is going to do for our people. We want our land back. We want free education. There is a lot. There is a gap that has to be bridged economically. We know the economy is still in the hands of the minority. We want our land back.
Okay, thank you very much for coming.
Thanks a lot.
Well, that is eThekwini coordinator for uMkhonto weSizwe, Ubaba Uthulani Gamede, saying that they are not scared, they are not phased, saying that they've had some successful, court battles leading up to this one. They are saying the fight today is quite small, as he's saying that the ANC is bringing about the fight about the local, saying that, well, they are positive that they would win. They're expecting more than 1,000 followers to come and support them as they wait for this judgment, Naledi.
Yeah, thank you so much for that update. Ntando Mnyandu is speaking to us outside the court. Then he'll be watching for the crowds that come out in support.